Oceanigot, Kalele Jagedo Kohig, Wade Levins, Donwadon, Hia, Jalaki Nuki, RSU TV, we gonna new go. Kohig, Nugsko Saguhine, Jalaki Adelo Coste. Welcome, my name is Wade Levins. This is Cherokee 4 here on RSU TV. I think today is our 41st Cherokee lesson. So if you remember, we are kind of working our way through the Blondie comic that was translated back in 1975. I'm really a big advocate. I think this is really a great learning tool for us. And the reason being, well, I'll tell you. Studies show that one of the best ways to improve your language acquisition, whether it's your first language or your second language, is reading. And there's just something about reading through things and things like that. Of course, you have to have spoken Cherokee as well. So really, we're trying to combine the best of both worlds because we're looking at primary source materials. We're looking at real Cherokee materials written by first language speakers. And then you're hearing me talk about it and hearing me say the words and things like that. So we're kind of getting both for us. So of course, as you know, we've looked at a lot of original source documents. We've looked at stories and we've looked at songs. We've looked at other pieces of writing that were written in Cherokee. Remember, we looked at the Cherokee Singing Book at one time. We've looked at passages from the Cherokee Bible. We've looked at the driver's manual, the driver's ed manual that was done about this same time. But I really think that especially if your goal is conversational Cherokee and talking to other people, I really feel like we've hit on something with these comics because, of course, as you know, comics are very dialogue driven. There's not a lot of explanation. It's just pictures and then dialogue, people talking back and forth to one another. And of course, when it comes to how to say things, that helps us a lot because, they say things that probably we might say or that we might use. So I think this has really, really been helpful for you. Or I hope it has. I know it's been helpful for me just going through this one comic. I know my own acquisition has increased exponentially. I'm able to read more of it without having to ask somebody what it means or without having to look back at the English translation. And those kinds of things. So we're going to finish this. We're going to finish this issue of Blondie probably within the next 2 or 3 lessons. And my hope is to get hold of one of the other ones, and then we'll finish out our Cherokee 4 looking at another one of these if possible. If not, then I'll find something else for us to look at. But I really feel like that this is a gold mine of information. So come, Idalena, talagi dimoni. Okay. So I'll get our lesson pulled up here, hopefully. Our internet's running a little slow today. Okay. So of course, as you know, Ustichil is the name for Blondie. It was done in 1975. One of the things that I find funny, recently I was double checking some of my translations, and I just happened to be visiting with another speaker, not a speaker that I usually ask questions to, but she and I just happened to be visiting as I was working with this, and so I showed it to her, and she started laughing, and she's like, "Ustijil," she's like, we used to use that word to talk about blonde-headed white people. And so she just thought that was really funny, and she's the first speaker that I've come across that recognized the word and used it. I mean, heard it in her community and things like that. And so I asked her, I said, well, does this mean like, flame haired, or, and she said, yeah, she said, that's what it means. She's like, so, so we were right on track. But it's nice to have that corroboration, from an independent source, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and we'll read through it, and I'll try to remember where we got to, and then we'll go through and we'll talk about individual words. So you can read along with me, or you can just sit back and listen to me and try to picture what's going on and where we're at in the story. So, Ustichi lahi unekaha junawosti yan dohiyu chilaska daganisine siwo ayata asqu nowo chilask Altachewi hiyeki kanoskisk aneltiska nitayuyasti ikatit galohisti kataki Jistu isa hi'a galohisti de hasola tanai han handadiski handadiskesti awadan idi agua dana istinasi awadanisi. See, I have to read through it myself. So, awadanisi istinasi. Yeah. Kla yagwanta yidajetla yagwadanta yagina lehale oh yagina lehale if I'm mad, right? Dohiyu yo dagiste na anagaliski agano widis agano wadiski winagi uli heli stone Jean Jiniga Gohusti Anagaliski Anigistanahski Igohid Gesa Yadulahawu Kilawu Iyawu we got toast Jageson. Something looks wrong. Oh. Klada Ostayiki. Oh. Dohiyuta Gohusti Nigalstiga. Uwagewis Awagewisa Gesa. Our cares. That's that word, our cares. See, sometimes I have to read through it a couple times to see what the word is. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. Our cares. That makes sense. Howawu. He awuta ase ama uditlegi at least dote gialiska stote gialiska stote Giali skastotti nigalstiha. Hia wuta elivu nida adaneli di ka ski yinu yo iye Jinuste Junihe Anigayali Unatandoti. That like they knew. Oh, dohiyu kayogon ni gaguskeg utli huisti asi nijadulas tano naga ganitli nula. Oh, adajewi hadon te hiloja ostayeno unajida jatla herda. Jiwata na anagaliski adastayentoti Yagudalana Uganawawu Yinaganela. Oh, Tla. Aseno Usticila Klesti Dijalasten Una Dijaladai Đi cho là đỡ ý. We hi đi có. We cho yơ hơ ý. We cho yơ hơ ý. A da sta yơ tí ý. A da sta tí ý. Okay, I think this is about where we are. We only have two more language parts of the frame. I'm going to go ahead and read all the rest of it, and then we'll come back, okay? And then we'll talk about it. We'll probably back up a couple more just to get back into it. Dohi yu kayo yu li he li sti. Hi a yi na gwa de ne la. Yi na gwa de ne la. Ski de ni daka de ne ni kata ni daka de ne le. Hila skita nu dale igaganeti wesa gane galid judane gitlile kan junatla ige se. And then the last picture, which of course doesn't have any Cherokee on it. Okay, so let's back up. Let's back up to this one, okay? We'll back up a couple. So, we're at this one right here, this panel right here. And he says, Jiwatan. Okay, we talked about that. Jiwatan means I found it, right? Na anakaliski, the electric. Adastaya doti. Adastaya doti, the cooker. So the electric cooker, or the electric skillet in this case. Uwatesat, no. I almost had the word for skillet for uwat. Is that right? Uwatesat. That kind of sounds right. Anyway. Yagudalana. Yagudalana means I'm gonna plug it in. Remember we talked about that? So Yagwudalan means I'm gonna plug it in. Uganawawu, just warm. Uganawa means warm. Wu, just. So Uganawawu, just warm. Yinaganela, yinaganela. Yinaganela means I'm gonna set it to that. I'm gonna fix it to that. Okay. And then, of course, here she goes, oh, tla. She's like, oh, no. She's like, I don't think so. Then this one, he says, Aseno ustichi lahi. But Blondie. And then she said, Tlesti, don't. Dijalosten, your feet. Na, there. Dijaladai means put them. Dijaladai. Don't you put your feet there. Okay? Huihitika. Huihitika. Go put something long, okay? Where you went and got it from, okay? Wijaya, where you went and got it from. Adastaya di, the kitchen. Okay, so you can see we've got a lot of words that have that word alstaite, which means food. We've learned, to have a meal. We've learned a cooker. We've learned the word wife, and now we've learned the word kitchen. We also learned the word restaurant, and they all have that same. They all have that same root about eating food or having a meal, right? Dealing with food. Okay, adastaya di. Okay, and of course, as we know, that e sound is one of the ways that we indicate a location, right? So where food is cooked, adastaya di, adastaya e. So and that's the kitchen. All right, the next one, this one, let's read through it. I'm going to give you just a little bit. I want you to read through it on your own. Of course, I've already read it once, but I want you to read through it on your own. And then we'll read it together, and then we'll talk about the individual words. Okay? Okay. He says, let's read through it together. So, do, hi, yu, kayon. Okay, we learn that new thing, that kayon thing. You, li, he, listi. You, li, he, listi. Hi, a. Yi, na, gua, da, ne, la. Skidan. Ni ga ni da ga da neli. Okay. So so this one is a little odd, but in the original, so I'm going to read to you the original translation, or what it originally said. Originally, he says, say, I just had a thought. What a wonderful idea I just got. I wonder if I dare. Oh, well. So I think in Cherokee, we just didn't really have a way to say it like that. So this is what they chose. So dohiyu kayon, really, really, right? We talked about that. Dohiyu means really. Dohiyu kayo means really, really, right? Yuli he listi, happy. Hia, this. Yinagwadanele, this that I'm going to do. So this dohiyu kayo yuli helist is really, really like wonderful. It's really happy. He yinagwa danela, yinagwa danela, yinagwa danela. If this that I do, okay, I'm doing it. Now the thing that I'm gonna do, the n sound, right? Skitan, yes, that's it. Okay, yes, like that. Okay. And then this ni daka da nele, it's like ni daka da nele. It's like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, right? It's kind of a weird ni ni daka da nele. It's like I'm doing something. Yeah, it's I'm going to do what I do, right? I'm going to do what I do. So in Cherokee, we can kind of translate this as really wonderful. This thing that I'm going to do is really wonderful. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Okay, so. So let's read through it again. Dohiyu kayo yuli helisti hi a yinagwada nela skita ni dakada nele. Let's read it again. Dohiyu kayo yuli helisti hi a yinagwada nela skita ni dakata nele. Yep, let's read it through it one more time. Dohi yukayo yuli heli stihi a yinagwada nela skita ni dakata nele. All right, and let's read this last one. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to read it on your own. See how much of it makes sense to you. And then let's go through and we will translate it together. Okay? Okay, let's read through it together. I'll read it really slow, and then we'll talk about it, okay? This one, I really like this sentence, I guess. So, okay. Hila skita nu dalea igaganeti wesa kanegalid judane gitlileka junatlai gesei. Okay, so hilanskita, hilansk means several, and then of course da is an emphasizer, right? Hilanskita. There really are several nu dale, different or other. Ikaganeti. Ikaganeti is ways to do things. Okay, ikaganeti. To do it. Okay, so this so he say hilanskita nu dalea ikaganeti. So there are several different ways to do it. Okay. Wes, cat. Okay. Kanega lead. Okay. So this one I find really interesting. So ganeg is a hide, right? So ganeg is like a hide or a skin, ganeg. For example, the community just north of where I'm from, Wakakaneg, cow skin, cowhide, right? Ganeg. I think we've had this word before, ganeg. Ganegalid, ganegalid means to remove the skin, to take the hide off of it. It can also be to peel, like if you're going to peel an apple or you're going to peel a pear or something. Ganegalid it's the same word. Okay, so wesa ganegalid, to skin a cat, right? Judane, to do it. So there are Hilan skita nu dale a ikagane di we sakane galid jundane. That he did, right? Or judane, not that he did, that he said. Judane can be he did it, but judane can also be he said it, right? So hilan skita nu dale a igagane ti we sakane gali judane. So several different ways to remove the skin of a cat that he said. So what we would translate that to say in English is the one that said there are several different ways to skin a cat, right? And of course, we all know that phrase, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So he's saying the one who said that there are several different ways to skin a cat, okay? Gitli le ka juna tla'i ge se'i. Okay, gitli is dog, but if you'll notice, it has this le ka in at the end of it, and so this is like saying I guess, because that le is and that ka is like maybe not. Okay? So that's expressing, maybe, maybe not, which we would translate in modern English to say, I suppose or I guess. Might be true, might not be true, right? I'm guessing. So I guess dogs do not play. They owned them, do not, right? Do not play. They owned them. Ge sei, it was. So it was that way. So this whole sentence says the one who said there's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess that they were dog owners. Okay, I guess they were dog owners. So and that's kind of the joke, I guess, But I really like this sentence because it's really got some fun things in it. So it says, let's read through it again. So, Hila skita nu dalea igagane ti we sakane galit judane gitlile kan junat lai ge say. Okay. Hila skita nu dalea igagane ti we sakane galit judane gitlile kan junat lai ge say. Hila skita nu dalea e gaganete, we sakane galita, judane, gitlile com junata igese. And then, of course, the very last picture, there's no words, and you see what he's done with these dogs. He's put them on their feet to warm their feet up. So, so if we look at the comic in its entirety, you know, in the beginning, you know, he was. Well, let's just go through and we'll talk about. We'll just in general terms talk about it in English, right? So we have him here, and he's yawning, and he's like, oh, you know, I'm really tired. And Blondie, of course, she's like, well, I'm tired too. And of course, the dog looks excited because he's like, oh, it's bedtime, great. And so here all three of them head to bed, and they crawl into bed, and he sees that the dog has made himself comfortable in the bed with them. So here, of course, you see he kicked the dog out of bed and threw him out. And so then later on that night, Blondie wakes him up and says, hey, I heard something downstairs. And so he grabs a ball bat and he goes down and he says, okay, if whoever you are, when I open this door, come out with your hands up. You know, I'm ready for you. I'm armed and dangerous. And so he opens the door, and of course there's his dog, you know, coming in, looking satisfied, right? And so then he's like, oh, I don't know whether I should be relieved because it's not a robber, or if I should be mad because it was just my stupid dog that woke me up, right? And so then he gets back in bed, and he's like, my feet are cold. And she's like, well, go get the electric warmer. And he's like, oh yeah. So he goes and gets it, and then he realizes it, and then he's like, well, it's not working. She's like, oh yeah, I forgot, it's broke. And he's like, okay, well, you know, we'll just go back to the old school hot water bottle. And so he fills it up, and then he brings it in, and he realizes it's full of holes. And she's like, oh my gosh, you know, you're going to get the bed wet, get it out of here. And so he's like, okay, well, I got to come up with something. And he's like, okay, I've figured it out. I found it. I'm going to put the electric skillet, and I'm going to set it on warm, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the bed, and we're going to warm our feet at. And she says, you know, no, you aren't. You know, don't put your feet on our electric skillet. Go put it back in the kitchen. And so he walks by this big old pile of dogs sleeping, and he's like, you know, he was like, oh, you know, maybe I've come up with a solution. And so then he's like, well, you know, so then he grabs the dogs and he puts them in the bed and warms them up, which of course was where the original dog was right in the beginning, right? He was already in bed. So so that's kind of the humor in it all, right? So let's go ahead, and we've got a little bit of time left, and I just want to try to read through it from beginning to end with no English, and then if we've got any time left over, we'll go back through and we'll talk about different words. So I'm going to have to read it kind of slow because it's been a while since I've read through it, and so I'm going to go ahead and read it. Okay. Usti jila he uneka ha ju na wosti yon dohi yu jilaska Taganisine siwo. Ayatansko. Nowo chilansk. Atatewe. Hiyeki. Kanoskisk aneltiska. Nidayuyasti. Ikatid kalohisti katug. Jistu isa hi akalohisti. De hasola tanai. Hanta diskesti. Awadana isti nasi. Awadana isti nasi. Llayaguanta yida jetla. Yawadanta yaginala hale. Dohiyu yo dagistei. Na anagaliski aganowidiski winigi. Uli helisto jiniga gohusti anagaliski anigistanahaski. Igohid gesa yadula hawu kilawu iyawu wigak tosti jigesoi. Llada osta yiki. O dohiyuda gohust jigalstiska awa kefsa gesa. Hawawu hi awuda ase ama uditleki atlistot agialiska stot agialiska stoti nigalstiha. Hi awuda eliwu nida adaneli. Di ka ski yinu yo iye jinu ste junihe anigayali un tana doti. Oh, dohiyu kayogo ni gaguskeg utli huyasti asi nijadulas tano naga ganitli nula. Oh, adajewi hadante hiloza ostayeno unajida jatla herda. Jiwata na anagaliski adastayan doti. Yawuda lena uganawawu yinaganela. Oh, kla. Aseno ustichilahi. Klesti dijalosten đi cho lò tên nó đi cho lò tới we hi đi có we cho giờ hơi adosta giờ đi do hi yu kayo yu li he li sti hi a yina wata ne la skita ni takata ne li Hila skita nu dale a ikaga ti we sa gane galit judane gitlile ka juna tla ige say. Okay, so that's the whole story. Hopefully you were able to follow kind of what was going on. So we've got a few minutes left. I'm going to tell you the words that personally I find very, very helpful and things that, I hope you will add to your everyday vocabulary. So, jilusk, I'm sleepy, okay? I think that one's a really important one. How about dakanisi ne siwo? Dakanisi ne siwo. So I'm just gonna go to bed. Okay, dakanisi nes. I'm going to bed. Woo. I'm just going to bed. Okay, dakanisi nesi. Ayadasku. Me too. Right. You should know that one already. Hiegi, wake up. Ganoskisk, a thief. Aneltisken, they tried. Egetid, galohisti. The front door. Gatug, I heard it. All right, gatug, I hear it. Okay. G-stui, I'm opening it. G-stuisa, when I open it. Let's see. Hantadisgesti, I remember it. Hantadisgest, remember. Tlayaguanta, I don't know. Of course, other communities, like I grew up hearing Hadia want. They both mean the exact same thing, okay? So, Yidachetla, if I'm relieved, right? Yaginala, I'm mad. Dogiste, my feet are cold, right? So my advice to you is to go through and find the words that you think you would use. You can be like, well, I use that in English all the time. Okay, well, let's start using it in Cherokee, okay? So that's the thing I like about going through these comics is there are things in here that you can use just as is. You can use them exactly as they are. You don't have to change them. You don't have to do much to them. So I find them very, very beneficial. So we're going to go over, next time we're going to go over one more, okay? So from all of us here at RSU TV and Cherokee Nation, I just want to say, Wadon, Jadok Sauce,